In this video lesson, we're going to look at the different sources of light as our introduction to our optics unit. The first type of light we're going to look at is incandescent, and that's when light is being released because of high heat. So some examples of incandescence would be a flame. So whenever you're burning something, it's releasing heat and light at the same time. So that's why we can see the flame. And then incandescent light bulbs are also a form of incandescence, hence the name. So what happens is electricity flows through this wire, and this filament made of tungsten heats up really hot. And when it does that, it starts to glow, and that's what gives us light. Now, incandescent light bulbs are going by the wayside for the most part because they release so much of their energy as heat, and that's very energy inefficient. So we actually end up spending more for the electricity that's involved in creating the light than with, say, an LED or a fluorescent light bulb. Our next form of light is phosphorescence. So in phosphorescence, light is being absorbed by some materials. These are called phosphors. And then those phosphors release the light back over time. So a perfect example of phosphorescence are glow-in-the-dark materials, such as those glow-in-the-dark stars you might have put up on your ceiling when you were a kid, or a glow-in-the-dark watch, for instance. Our next form of light is electric discharge, and that's when a gas releases light because electricity is passing through it. So the example is lightning. So when an electrical current goes through the air, the gases in the air release light because of that electricity passing through. And so then we see that visible lightning. The next source of light is fluorescence, and that's when light is being released from a substance caused by exposure to radiation from an outside source. So in fluorescent lighting, light is released when the UV radiation, which is invisible to us but is there, hits phosphors which line the tube, and then those phosphors glow, releasing that light to us, and we can see light. So examples would be fluorescent lighting or highlighters or neon colored items when UV radiation hits those things. So when we are shining a black light on things, there is UV light that's being used. That's why those things glow so brightly in that presence of light. And they look so bright to us too because UV radiation is hitting us all the time when light is coming at us from the sun. So remember, electromagnetic radiation contains UV radiation as well. Chemiluminescence or chemiluminescence is when light is made through a chemical reaction. So the chemical reaction itself is making the light, but it doesn't actually generate heat at the same time. So it's different from some of the other forms of light. So a perfect example would be glow sticks. We've all used glow sticks. We activate the chemical by snapping it. The reaction starts, and then you end up with this glowing glow stick that glows for hours on end, and that is chemiluminescence. Bioluminescence is a special form of chemiluminescence. So these items, these living things, can glow through a chemical reaction that's happening inside their body. So lightning bugs, some fish and jellyfish all contain this ability. If you look on YouTube for bioluminescence, you can actually find some great videos. The first one here is showing a lightning bug here. Down here, we're actually looking down at the ocean, so there's some jellyfish that are showing some bioluminescence. You can find videos as well to show that in action. Finally, we'll talk about luminous and non-luminous. So luminous objects produce or give off their own light. So the examples would be the sun, the stars, lightning bugs, and so on. So those are luminous objects.